Okay, so we're going to do this review like we did the other one. I'm going to do a couple problems, and then you're going to pause the video and work a couple problems on your own. The first two questions say that we're going to graph the linear function and determine the rate of change and the y-intercept. Remember, rate of change is another word for slope. All right, so remember, when you're talking about a linear function in slope-intercept form, which means it's an mx plus b, like this first one, the slope is always the number with the x. And so in this case, my slope is going to be 2. So this is your m, and your b is 9, which is your y-intercept. Slope is rise over run. I'm going to put 2 over 1, the understood 1 on the bottom, and then your y-intercept, which is 9. So slope is with the x, y-intercept is the number all by itself. The y-intercept is what you need to plot first. So you have to plot this point first. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to plot 9. And then from that point, I am going to rise 2 and run 1. Now, it kind of goes off my graph, so I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go down 2 and left 1. That's the only time you go left, is if it goes off your graph. Otherwise, always run right. All right, so now would be a good time to pause the video and try your number 1 down here. Number 2 is in standard form. So if you look here, this is in ax plus by equals c form. So you can solve this a couple different ways. You can find your intercepts and plot those guys, or you can find your slope and your y-intercept and do it like we did number 1. Regardless, you have to find your y-intercept. So if you remember, if you're in standard form and you're trying to find the y, you ignore the x because it's going to be 0. And so you have this equation 3y equals 12. All right, so once again, you take your original guy, ignore the x, and so you have 3y equals 12. And then to solve for y, you just have to divide by 3. So your y-intercept is at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so let's say you wanted to do the x-intercept. So if you want to find the x-intercept, ignore the y. And then you have to divide both sides by 2. And so your x-intercept is at 6. 6. And then you're going to draw your line. All right, but this one is asking you for your slope, your rise over run. And so there's a couple ways. You can do rise over run from the 2 points you found, or remember, for standard form, your formula for finding slope is negative a over b. So negative 2 over 3, negative 2, the a is 2, and the b is 3. That's probably the easiest way to do it, is using this formula. But you have to memorize this because it's not on your formula chart. All right, pause the video. Y'all do number 2. All right, for problems 3 and 4, the graph of the linear function is shown below. Use the graph to determine the rate of change and the y-intercept. All right, same exact thing, rate of change and y-intercept. Remember, rate of change is the slope. Now on these guys down here, it gives me the graph. So to find the y-intercept, you literally just look at the graph and see where it's crossing the y-axis. It's crossing at negative 15. Negative because it's down here. All right, so now for slope, I'm going to find 2 points on my line. Start with your left point. You read your graph left to right, just like you would read a book. So we're going to start with the left point, and we are going down. So because we're going down, that's going to be negative. And because of the scale, this is going to be negative 5. You're going down 5. From 10 to 15 is 5. And you are going to run